Stay in France next, where MPs have criticised endemic abuse in the entertainment sector after a months-long inquiry into sexual violence that saw stars and other actors reveal instances of bullying and assault. To talk more about this, we can bring in Emerald Maxwell. Emerald, great to see you. How did this inquiry come about?
Well, Delano, metoo hasn't had quite the same cultural impact as it has elsewhere, or at least there's been more resistance to it. The reckoning has taken longer, so to speak. Starting with that letter back in 2018, which was signed by 100 French female artists, including actress Catherine Deneuve, and who they portrayed metoo as a Puritan American import. But the movement has gained momentum over the last year or so, partly spurred by accusations against big French stars like Gérard Depardieu and his ongoing trial for sexual assault, but also by allegations from actress Judith Godrèche, who accused 2 French directors of abusing her when she was a young teenager and working in films. And she was really instrumental in prompting this parliamentary investigation, which was led by feminist Greens MP Sandrine Rousseau. She oversaw 6 months of hearings, and the damning report came out today, concluding that moral, sexist and sexual violence in the cultural sector is systemic, endemic and persistent. Judith Godrèche reacted earlier to this, saying she hoped the findings would be taken seriously and also lead to collective change. Let's take a listen to her.
The seriousness of the findings is terrible, and it's important now, thanks to this report, that the political world gets to grips with it so that no one can say, "We didn't know." The people who have the most power on a set need to grasp the distress of those who have the least and to reach out to them, and for it to become a collective problem, because in a place where silence reigns, revolution can only happen collectively.
Now, Emerald, this inquiry heard testimony from some 350 people from the world of film, television, theatre, what have you, most of it behind closed doors.
Yes, they heard from stars like Juliette Binoche, Jean Dujardin and Pierre Ninet, only some of which was on the record. We do have the transcript of actor Jean Dujardin, which was published last month, and he conceded that some male actors might have failed to denounce sexual abuse in the past, but that attitudes were changing. He said, "We no longer say what we used to say 10 or 15 years ago. I feel that sexist reactions and clumsy remarks are gradually disappearing." We also have testimony from actress Agathe Pujol, who in 2023 lodged a complaint against fellow actor Philippe Cobert, a former member of the Soleil theatre troupe, for rape. Cobert is under investigation, and we can hear an extract of Pujol's testimony.
When I was 17, I met Philippe Cobert from Théâtre du Soleil. For the next 11 years, I had to live what he calls a love story which I've been forced to revisit on the basis of the material evidence I have left, and which has been torture all over again.
So the Parliamentary Commission also heard from veteran celebrity agent Dominique Besnéard, who actually challenged some of the testimony from actresses about sexual abuse, saying, for instance, that when he was an agent, he saw some actresses supposedly crossing the line. According to him, you don't just go to a hotel with a director.
Blaming the woman there. Okay, now the inquiry also called into question the prevalent view here in France that abusive behavior by top cultural figures can be excused in the name of art.
Yes, so big artists like Roman Polanski, Woody Allen, Alain Delon have long been celebrated and honoured in France, despite their darker sides, so to speak. This idea of separating the art from the artist was also acknowledged in the report. The Commission's rapporteur, centrist MP Erwan Balanant, told AFP that France has a cult of talent and creative genius and that it comes at a price. Now, the report's authors hope that their conclusions can help bring about a sea change in the performing arts sectors. And Sandrine Rousseau, who led the inquiry, spoke earlier today.
This is the first time that there has been a committee of inquiry into violence in the world of culture, and I think that we are also the first country to really do this work of introspection under oath. The world of culture will have to hear, read and take on board what is in this report, the content of the hearings, and not only send out messages, but also show a desire for radical change in the way this system is organised.
So the Commission's report makes nearly 90 recommendations, including better safeguarding for children and women during cast scenes and on set, such as with the use of intimacy coordinators. It remains to be seen if this inquiry has a lasting impact and really changes practices and attitudes, crucially, in the cultural space in France. One thing, though, to look at is the verdict on Gérard Depardieu's trial, which is expected on May 13th and coincides with the French Cannes Film Festival.
Wow, that'll be an interesting one to watch for. Thank you very much for that, Emma.